Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Aleeza Ben Shalom. We are so excited that you are here with us this evening. And we are looking forward to digging in. This is part 2. And we are really going to talk about communication and how to have some of these very difficult conversations and to make things go a little bit easier and a little bit different than maybe what you're used to doing. But before we get started with that, I would like to introduce Bela Yaniv, who is here, who is the founder of Partners in Shidduchim, and she is going to tell us more about Partners in Shidduchim and welcome us as well.
Okay, and welcome to part 2 on effective communication. Learn everything you can about communication empowerment tonight. We are excited to present to you tonight's program because we want to help you. As Aleeza Ben Shalom says, get over your hurdles and under the Chuppah. I'm Bela Yaniv. Dr. Samet and Aleeza Ben Shalom are going to have a fun time tonight, and you are too, as they share techniques and tools through their role-playing of the AEIOU method. These women are thrilled to make this program available to you so that you will be able to date successfully. A recorded version of this webinar will be available. We'd love to hear from you, so reach out to support@partnersinshidduchim.com. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome. Let me tell you about Dr. Samet. Dr. Devorah Samet holds a doctorate in clinical psychology from Long Island University, Post, and has over 25 years of experience in treating behavioral and social disorders in children, teens, and young adults. Her extensive clinical training included positions at Columbia University and Long Island Jewish Hospital, Northwell Health, among others. She currently maintains a private practice in Brooklyn, New York. Aleeza Ben Shalom is a professional dating coach, in-demand speaker, expert author, and founder of Marriage Minded Mentor. Aleeza and her team guide singles through the steps to become engaged regardless of age, affiliation, or stage in life. A regularly featured expert in the media, Aleeza's relationship advice has appeared everywhere, from BBC World News to NPR to Aish.com and to Partners in Shidduchim. She trains dating coaches and matchmakers and has helped hundreds of singles manifest their soulmate. We're thrilled about this program because Partners in Shidduchim wants to help singles and everyone who's advocating on behalf of a single. Help spread the word to singles that you know, family and friends about the amazing work we're doing at Partners in Shidduchim. I turn the screen over to Aleeza and Dr. Samet. Enjoy the evening.
Okay, are we excited and are we ready? Okay, the first thing that we're actually going to do for anybody who didn't make it to part 1, or even if you made it to part 1, what we're going to do is just a quick review of AEIOU, which is going to tell you what is it? What's AEIOU all about? We're going to tell you because it directly relates to communication, and it has been an invaluable tool. I actually was using it today with one of my clients, and it was like, wow, it was just like so eye-opening. So Dr. Samet, will you please give us the overview so that everybody will be reminded, or if they're new here for the first time, they can get the overview, and then we'll go into some real examples that we have for you.
Sure, definitely. What I'll do is I'm going to share my screen again so that everyone can see. Those of you who are visual learners will be able to see, a quick layout of it, and you'll remember, hopefully, the information a little better. And for those of you who did not have it last time, didn't see it last time, they'll get an overview now. Okay. Wait 1 second. We need to mute. Can you mute her?
I don't know that I have permission. Let me see. Nope.
You can't mute her?
Right. Are you I'm a panelist, but not an admin.
Right. So
I just sent him a message.
Okay.
See if you're able to do it if you go to participants.
Let me try. Let's go to panelists. 1 second. Okay, I'll try to mute Bela's. 1 second, let me see if I can do that. No, I can't do that. I don't have the option. Okay. Shall we just continue anyway?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. All right. Okay, let me share the screen again. Okay, so we have the effective communication topic, AEIU, which stands for the following. Okay, we talked about people being either passive, aggressive, or assertive, that some people tend, when they're passive, they prioritize other people's needs over their own. So even though in their hearts they want to say something, they end up keeping quiet. The problem is they end up getting mistreated and they don't get their needs met. Second group of people are the aggressive people. So they prioritize their own needs and desires and feelings over the needs of others. They ignore the people. What ends up happening is, yes, they get what they want, but at the cost of damaged relationships. Then we have the assertive group. These are people who respect both their own feelings and the feelings and needs of other people. So yes, they are compromising. They don't get exactly what they want, but they have self-respect for themselves and healthy, respectful relationships. So our goal, of course, is to help all of us be assertive. How do we do that? Here are some practical strategies. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So the 5 different ways of communicating are A, attack the other person. How? You hurt another's feelings or body. E, evade. You hold in feelings and you try not to deal with it. So you're saying nothing and you bottle it up. I is inform. Tell the person how you feel and what you need. So express yourself in a calm, gentle manner so that the other person knows exactly what you're feeling and what you need from them. O is for open-minded. And last time, Aleeza, you mentioned like open-ended questions. Well, when you're open-minded, you ask open-ended questions and you make space for anything the person is going to share. So you want to hear how the other person is thinking, they're feeling. How do you do that? By asking open-ended questions. U is for unite. You say things that connect you with the other person. It makes it feel like, okay, we are trying to make this work. Well, it will work for both you and me. We're on the same team. We have the same goal. And Y is for yes. Sometimes you give in and you say yes. Like you didn't really want to, but you say yes and you move on. All right. So by the way, I should give credit again to Ellen Rader from Columbia University who came up with this AEIOU communication strategy. I wish I could say I made it up, but I didn't. But it's a fantastic strategy and I love to teach it. So we sort of like moved along a little fast. I'm curious if anybody has questions or comments about it. If you can type it into the chat, which one, Aleeza, which one is better, Q&A or chat?
I don't know where you're looking at. You can, if they type it into the Q&A, can you see that or can you only see the chat? I don't know what you can see.
I can see both. I can see the Q&A and the chat.
Okay, yeah, so if they put it into the Q&A, that's great. It's private also. It's only for the hosts that can see that. So we can read that. And if you have any questions, you can put it there. If you want to chat with other participants, you can do that in the chat box to discuss the scenarios or anything like that.
Right, but I'm not sure if they have the option of chatting with other participants in the chat box. I'm not sure that's an option.
Hold on. If you select to panelists and attendees, then you can chat with anybody else that's there as well.
You're right.
Yep.
Right. Okay, fine. All right. So I'm hoping that we're clear. Aleeza, any questions? And did you feel that it was too fast? Do we need to slow down a little bit?
I think it's a brief overview, but I think you're going to get a handle on what this all means and what it looks like. I took a quick screenshot, but if you want to, you can just tell people as we go through it. We'll go, oh, this is an E and I, and oh, we can just explain it as we go. Everybody will get used to it, I'm sure.
Fantastic. Okay, so in that case, we're ready to jump right into the scenarios. Are we?
Perfect.
Amazing. Okay.
Okay, so Devorah is going to be Devorah and I'm going to be Moshe. So I'm going to be the guy in all of the scenarios and she's going to be the girl in all of the scenarios. And we're going to run through, she's going to read out the scenario. She's going to say, here, here's where we're at. Here's what the story is. And then we're going to use these techniques that we know about to have a different type of conversation than we might normally have.
And the interesting thing is that these dilemmas came from you, the participants. Different people wrote in different questions and dilemmas that they face and they're not sure how to address them, how to discuss them, what to say, what not to say. And so using the AEIOU strategy, it guides us as to what to say in different situations.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for sharing dilemmas. Okay, first one. So I'm gonna remember Moshe, you're Moshe. Okay. So you are, so here the issue is like this. I, the girl, have not eaten. It's dinner time. And when the date was set up, like it was set up for like 6:30. And I didn't ask, I assumed like he was gonna take me out to eat because it's like 6:30. Okay, I'm assuming that.
Normally it's a dinner date.
Yeah, exactly, especially that early. And instead of going to get a bite, Moshe, you want to take me out for a walk, like, to the boardwalk or something, or you want to take me to a lounge for a drink. And I'm starving. So,
okay, so I'm going to say, Deborah, I was thinking we could go for a walk on the boardwalk, and then maybe we'll pop into a lounge, we'll grab a drink and hang out. How does that sound?
Wow. Okay. You know what? How about this? A little tricky. I was cool for 6:30. That's when I usually have my dinner, and I haven't eaten. I'm curious, have you eaten yet?
I did. I thought I didn't know, so I ate before. I didn't get lunch, and I just grabbed something earlier. I did eat, but we could go for something to eat instead of grabbing a drink.
Okay, I would very much appreciate that. That would be amazing. Thank you. And then afterwards, we can take a walk on the boardwalk or go to a lounge for a drink or something like that.
Great.
What do you think
Okay,
of
that sounds wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay, great. Okay, so what we did here was, I informed you that I was hungry and that I, didn't count on eating earlier because I figured, okay, 6:30 is a dinner date. I then did, open-minded. I asked you, when did you eat? Have you eaten? To find out like what your take was on this. And you told me. And then I did unite. So I said, okay, how about we grab a bite and then we go together to the boardwalk or go to a lounge or something like that, so that we do both parts. And I sort of make you happy and you make me happy.
Right. And what normally happens in that scenario is I'm the one saying like, hey, let's go for a walk on the boardwalk. And you're like, and then you say nothing and you're like, sure, no problem. Yeah, that's fine. And then you go for a walk on the boardwalk. You're so hungry. You're kicking yourself that you didn't say anything. Then they take you to a lounge to get a drink. And you're like, I don't need a drink. I need calories. I'm losing it. And then you have a bad date because you're so you can't function because you didn't have enough food in your body. And so kind of biting your tongue and saying nothing isn't the best thing to do. But using these tools and these strategies and going through the AEIOU, we're able to open up, we're able to connect, we're able to say something, and we're able to bridge that gap. So, okay, great. Well, now I know that you're hungry. Now I can do something about it. Me being able to do something for you also gives to you in a way that I couldn't do before. It was my idea to take a walk on the boardwalk, but that's not what you needed. I was now able to give to you and we could go grab a bite.
Excellent. Because not saying anything would have been an evade. Right.
And people who are indirect, which I tend to be more of an indirect, I've trained myself to be more direct, but people who are indirect or don't like confrontation or conflict, they tend to evade and they're like, yeah, oh, sure, yeah, we could do that. And they just kind of go along with things.
Right. Same, by the way. I also had to train myself to do I's, O's, and U's. So it's not a natural thing for me either. I've gotten much better at it. Still have work to do, but it's a process. Right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Are we ready for the next scenario?
Yes.
Okay. So you, Moshe, sense that I am anxious or tired and you want to make me feel comfortable, but you're not sure. You're getting a sense. How would you deal with that?
So, Deborah, it seems like there's just something bugging you. Like, I don't know if like you're a little anxious or maybe you're just tired from like a long night, but I noticed that you're not exactly comfortable here.
Okay, so I can do an evade right now and I can say, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. No, everything's fine. No. Okay.
And I'm never going to believe that. I'm never going to believe that.
Okay. Right. And it's like, there's no connection there because I'm not being honest. Right. Okay. So, thank you. Actually, thank you for asking. For the last few nights, I've been going to sleep like super late and I've been waking up super early. So I am tired. You're right. Yeah. Actually, I've been anxious about how I'm coming across. So to top it off, I'm anxious about that. But now that you told me, okay, but it's not you. It's not you. I'm not, if you see me yawning, it has nothing to do with you. I've just been going to sleep too late in the last few days.
Okay. So maybe we could, end the date a little bit early and maybe pick up another time if that's better.
Yeah. Well, we've been out for about an hour. I wouldn't want to end it so early because you came out all the way, but how about if we do another half hour, let's say, and we'll make up for it next time.
Wonderful. Sounds great.
All right. So what you did now here was you were open. You asked me, I'm noticing that you're, you seem a little bit like either anxious, tired, something, I'm not sure, something maybe is bugging you. And you invited me to talk, to share with you. So that was open-minded. You did unite because you wanted to meet my needs also. I'm like, what's going to make me happy? I didn't inform. I shared with you what's happening. So that was very good on my part. And also, I did another unite. I said, it's not you. My tiredness and my yawning has nothing to do with you. I'm just tired. So did that make you feel more comfortable? I'm curious how that made you feel.
Made me feel better. Like, oh, it's not me. She's not bored. It's not that we're having a bad date. It's that she's not in a great place right now. And she happens to be out with me, but it's not because of me that she's feeling that way.
Excellent. Okay. All right.
The other thing with openness is it's like when you see something, say something, right? So if you're not used to that, it's very uncomfortable to call somebody out and to say even sweetly, like, wow, you look tired, or, maybe anxious or not sure what's going on, right? You saw something and you're saying something. You're trying to identify what it is, even if you don't exactly know what it is, but you're trying to just build the conversation. And the more we talk, the more I understand, oh, she's tired. She was up late. Oh, fine. So we'll go on next week. It doesn't matter, good person. And wow, now I feel close to you because you were open. You opened up to me. And now I feel a little bit more connected.
Yeah. All right. Someone made a comment and I wanted to address it. The question was, okay, maybe you can help me look at it. Look at the comments. The question to date, what are plans for, if you want to ask your date, what are the plans for the date so people are appropriately dressed and even for a dinner date not to be starved? The food may be not what you expect. The food service can be delayed. Please discuss how to avoid scenario 1. I'm assuming scenario 1. Oh, how do you avoid it? Oh, very, very easy. Okay. So, I think I understand the question. The question is, you don't want to arrive to the date starving. And you also want to know, should you bring walking shoes? Should you bring, should you wear heels? Should you wear how should you be dressed? In the non-COVID times when you could go to public places, you could have gone somewhere and you would have wanted to dress according to the location. So how do you avoid the problem? Very simple. I'm Devorah. I'm going to ask Moshe, right? So I can either, I can call you or text you. Let's say I'm going to call you. Okay.
Or there might be a matchmaker involved. So you could also speak to them depending on who's there.
Yes. Okay. So let's say I'm talking to you directly. Say, hi, hi Moshe. How are you?
Good. How are you, Devorah?
Good. I'm very excited about tonight's date. It's 9:00 in the morning, by the way, 10 o'clock in the morning. I can't wait. I just wanted to make sure I'm dressed appropriately and also I sort of know your plans. Do you know what we're doing this evening? Did you make plans yet?
Yeah, I was thinking that we would go for a walk on the boardwalk and then maybe stop at a lounge, grab something to drink.
Sounds good.
For a little bit.
Excellent. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll eat beforehand and I'll make sure that we're comfortable walking shoes if we're walking a lot. So
sounds great. Yes. Please.
How do you feel about that, by the way?
Great. Now I know we're all on the same page. I'm not guessing. I'm not wondering. It's not like, ooh, what's it going to be? And now I know exactly where we stand.
Okay. Excellent. And I didn't know, what are your plans for tonight? It was an open-ended question. I'm trying to be open-minded and find out what your plans are. I didn't evade. I didn't do evade. And you informed me what your plans were.
This is where we're going. This is what we're doing.
And also I told you I want to figure out when I, if I should eat or what clothing to wear. Just want to be comfortably dressed. So I didn't, I told you what my needs were as well. Excellent. Okay. So thank you, Julie, for the question. Excellent question. All right. So are we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay. You're welcome, Julie. Okay. She said, thank you. So your date, the girl, so I, Deborah, want to stay out longer. But you, Moshe, you're tired. You want to go home already. Okay. And I want to see you again. So I really want to see you again.
And I want to see you again. I'm just tired now.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So where are we going next? We just finished the walk. Can we go to such and such place?
Actually, I'm a little bit tired. It's not you. I'm really enjoying our date. I'm really enjoying our time together, and I really would like to see you again. But I was up really early this morning because I had an exam and I was prepping beforehand, and I'm just feeling washed out right now. I thought I was going to have enough energy to keep going, but I'm really, really losing steam. So I'm wondering if we can make plans and, do this another time and cut it a little early tonight. Would that be okay?
Sure, definitely. Okay, thank you so much for telling me, because I'm like full of energy. I wanted to go do some more stuff, but I totally get it. No, I'll respect that. Definitely. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Great. Okay, good. So maybe we can go out on Tuesday. That would be better. And I won't get up early that day.
No exams anymore. You're done?
No more exams. That's it. All done.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. So you did, okay, as soon as I said to you, okay, great. Let's go do something else that's fun. You right away did an I inform. And I would have felt like evading. Like I would have been like, okay, sure. What do you want to do? Right? Like that would have been my natural instinct. And I had to overcome that to be able to say, actually, right? I'm not going to be able to fulfill that desire, and I'm not going to be able to continue. It was hard to say that. Okay. But thank you for being courageous and assertive, not passive. And you, I guess you also comforted me. You did a unite, because you told me it's not me. It's an exam that you studied. You were up early in the morning. You prepped for it. So it totally makes sense that you'd be exhausted. And great. So now we can plan. I guess we're both comfortable in this situation. So amazing. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. I, the girl, am vegetarian, and my date, the guy, loves meat and fish. I really like him, but how are you going to make this work? So go ahead, Moshe. Where are you taking me tonight? So I have the most amazing steakhouse picked out for us. It is my absolute favorite place to go, and I really want to bring you there and introduce you to my whole amazing Fleishik world. Wow. Okay, which place is this, the steakhouse? Oh, it's the one that's on Fifth Avenue. Oh, okay. I actually heard about it. It's the really nice place, the nice place, the nicest. Right. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for thinking about that place, but ouch, I have a little problem. I guess I didn't tell you that I'm vegetarian. Oh. Did I ever tell you that? No meat, no fish, no... Nothing. Okay. Okay. So, but I like a lot. I like how we can make this work in the future. My goodness. I don't know. I think they have vegetables there. What else? What do you eat if you don't eat meat and you don't eat fish? What else do you eat? Well, I have nuts and chickpeas. So like hummus, tahina. Is it an Israeli place like this place? It's not. But we could go to another amazing place that's on 10th, and they have the most amazing falafel. Would that work for you? Oh, definitely. Yeah, but I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I appreciate that you're suggesting that. Do you mind? No, it's totally fine. I'll go to the meat place a different night. Okay, good. Okay, you have friends to go with? Yeah. By the way, I would accompany you. I'd make sure to eat beforehand, and I'd accompany you. Maybe like they have fries or something. I don't know. Do they serve fries or some other? I mean, like it's a steak place, so like meat and potatoes and coleslaw and maybe corn and some veggies. I'm not vegetarian, so I never really explored the vegetarian options, but I would explore that before I would bring you there. Okay. And I don't know, in the future, like down the road, would you like serve meat in your house, or, how would you approach this long term? Well, I would definitely cook meat for you. Like, I have no problem. You know, it's not a problem at all. I'd be more than happy. But I guess I'd always make like, you know, a main that has my protein and another main that has your protein. And the side dishes can be vegetables. So
They're all the same. Okay, great.
do you think that could
That
work?
could work. Yeah,
Great.
totally.
Amazing. Okay, we can continue dating. Not all is not lost.
Two worlds
Okay.
can unite.
Yes, yes. Okay, so in this case, I didn't inform, and I said, "Ouch, I'm vegetarian," and I was curious about. I also was open to hear more about your steakhouse because you wanted to talk about it. You're very proud of, or I don't know, you have some very positive
Connection. Very excited about it. It's my favorite place.
Yes. So I didn't just shoot it down right away. I was open a little about it, and then I shared that I am vegetarian. And then we did a lot of you unite, come up with other alternate plans. Like, you know, we compromised here. And we even discussed what, you know, how to deal with this in the future.
Right. And the other thing is this, we made it, you know, a nice, sweet, happy ending where we could work it out. It could also go another way where I go, wow, vegetarian. No, it's totally not going to work for me because I want a spouse not just to cook me meat, but I want them to just enjoy it with me. Like I am a foodie and I get tremendous pleasure out of eating meat and out of the people that are in my company eating meat with me. And like, it's actually like a thing for me. But my buddy, Shlomo, is a vegetarian. So I don't know what else you guys might have in common, but maybe I can make an introduction and you guys could go out because it just long term, it actually wouldn't, it's kind of a big thing and it really wouldn't work for me. So it could just as easily not be something that you and I can overcome just because we were open about it and we connected over it and we informed each other. Even though we go through these steps, it doesn't mean that you always end up with this yay happy ending. It could be that this is like the end of the relationship. Sorry, we just found out we're on a different page and there's no way I'm compromising on this. And I think that's also possible.
Right. And then in that case, I'll tell you, you're very sweet, Moshe, for thinking about me in that way. Like, you know, that you have a friend and you can introduce that. That would be amazing. I really enjoyed your company until now. Oh, well, perhaps you met Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. So you, the guy, want to ask your date, the girl, directly if she wants to go out again, but you're not sure if she's comfortable with that question.
Okay. So I would love to go out again, but I don't really want to put you on the spot because I don't know if you want, like, should we go through the shadchan? Is it something we should handle on our own? What would be the most comfortable thing for you?
Thank you so much for asking. I really appreciate that question. Thank you. Generally, for the first few dates, we go through the shadchan, and then after that, we take over, kind of thing. What about you? What's your,
Okay.
how have you done it?
I don't mind to do it on our own if both parties are comfortable, but I would love to just be accommodating and go through the shadchan the first few times. And so we'll do that and check in with the shadchan, and then we'll see where we go from there. That works for me just fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you're respecting my needs and wishes. Thank you. Or I can do a why yes. I can say, you know what? Let's just do it directly. It's fine. Totally fine. I'm not being passive. I'm intentionally doing a why yes. I'm giving in. Let's just do it directly.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Amazing. Is this like A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y? Is that
yes.
the yes? Y for yes?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Sometimes Y. Sometimes we just say yes.
Correct. Yeah, because why do you have to give in to me? How about if I give in to you this time? Right?
Love it.
Right. And also you took me to a vegetarian place, not to the barbecue. So
we've been going out a bunch of times. We're comfortable.
Yes. Okay. So in this case, again, we did an O open, and we asked, I did not O open. How do you usually do it? And you did an O open. You asked open-minded. You asked me what I would feel comfortable with. And then we each did an I to inform each other how we usually like to do it. But then we, you did a you unite, like, okay, but I'm willing, this is how I do it, but I'm willing to do it that way to make you more comfortable. So that's a great you unite. And ultimately I did a why. I said yes.
Love it.
There's a question here. Okay, a comment. Sometimes people find it hard to find someone who speaks this way. Okay, so
the answer is it's often hard to find somebody that speaks this way. And if you start to speak this way, somebody still might, just because you have the skills to speak this way, it doesn't mean that the other person will also have the skills. You might have to work harder to get somebody comfortable. So like for me, I'm trying to be overly accommodating, oh, I usually go through the shadchan, or I usually don't, I do it on my own. You go through the shadchan. Why don't we do what you prefer? Or why don't we do this, right? I could lead us in a direction where maybe you don't have to speak up as much, or maybe you're not comfortable with that, so that I can help to bridge that gap. And by being the leader and teaching them and showing them, you're informing them, you're being open, you're uniting, your language will translate, and the other person will come to do that over the course of time. It might not happen on that date, but they will learn from you. So if you're somebody that is doing that, it will help the other person. And even if they're not there yet and they're not giving you exactly the answer you need, they still might be thinking, wow, you're making this so much easier for me. Like this is so hard, but I so appreciate what they're doing. They might not tell you that, but they're going to feel that. And that's going to lead to a good ending of the date.
Excellent. Thank you. Yep. All right. Now, okay. The girl, sorry. The guy doesn't look at you when you're speaking. So Moshe, you're not looking at me when you're speaking, but you keep your head down. Mm-hmm. Or your eyes are averted, you're looking in a different direction. And I like you, but I'm not sure what that's about. Or I'm like, I don't know if I like you, but I'm just curious what's going on. Okay. So I'm going to ask you. Okay. So Moshe, what were you saying before about travel is restricted in Israel?
Yeah, travel's really hard. Everybody's on lockdown, and even the airports are closed now. It's been pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
May I ask you a question, Moshe? Because I've been noticing.
Yeah.
Is it okay to ask you a question? I'm noticing you keep looking down, and when we speak, like you're not looking at me. I'm just curious. Is there something? Is it like a religious thing? Like you don't look at women, or?
I didn't really grow up with any sisters, and it's not like I see my aunts so often, and so it's just kind of not super comfortable to be looking at somebody for so long, or to be so connected.
Okay, because it's a little hard for me to, I said, be in the conversation when you're looking down.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if, I was wondering where it's coming from. I know certain cultures, let's say, I think like in Africa, it's like disrespectful to make eye contact. In certain parts of Africa, at least, it's disrespectful to make eye contact, or like in certain religious circles, men might not. But I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, it's more of a cultural thing not to really stare at women, but I know in dating I should try a little harder to look at the person.
Okay, all right.
It's a little hard. It's hard for me.
Thank you for telling me that, for sharing that. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. So I was open, and I was curious about it. And you did inform me where it's coming from.
Yeah, and not super open, because this is like a super uncomfortable thing for me, and the whole just staring down and not being open and not communicating and not connecting is more normal for me, and it was difficult to even build a connection verbally or with eye contact.
Right. Okay. All right, ready for the next one?
Ready.
Okay. So, okay, you're on a date, we're on a date, and the girl takes a call. I take a phone call in the middle of the date. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, go ahead. Well, Moshe, one second, I have a phone call. 1 second. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, not now. Bad time. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.
Hi.
Okay, hi, sorry about that. Okay, I'm so sorry, Moshe. Sorry about that.
Was that like a family emergency or something?
No, it was just my friend. She wanted to know if we were supposed to go out tomorrow and like, meet up, and she wanted to know if,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you usually take calls on dates? Is that like a normal thing?
Well, sometimes, yeah. How do you feel about taking phone calls on dates?
I mean, I personally enjoy connection and communication, but only with the person that I'm on the date with, and try to, keep the phone and other distractions away. I would love it if you would do the same, just so that we could connect a little bit more, so I could really get to know you, and so that we can kind of, have some uninterrupted quiet time together.
So actually, it's funny that you're saying that. I was like watching a webinar by a marriage-minded mentor, and they were saying that. Do you know her? Do you know this marriage-minded mentor thing?
I've heard of her. She's really good.
She's fantastic. Yeah. So you know what? You have a point there. Yeah. Maybe I should work on that.
I mean, look, if you really had to take a call, you could not notice your phone and just go to the bathroom and maybe take a call and not tell me, and I'll have no idea. But like, probably it's better not to have a call.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. We probably would both feel a little better about it.
Yeah. True. Like, I'm trying to think how I'd feel if you took phone calls in the middle of a date.
Yeah. Yeah, like, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? Yeah. Oh no, I'm busy. No, I could talk later. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Be a little bit. I'm like, let's put our phones away and let's grab dessert. Do you like chocolate cake?
Sounds like a plan. Yes.
Awesome.
Okay,
great.
All right. So in this scenario, you did an open to find out why I took the phone call, like if it was an emergency, what it was, and how often I do it. So you're trying to learn more about me. Like, is this the way I do things? I conduct myself, and how I feel about it, and then I also did an open. I asked you back, how do you feel about it? I wanted to learn about your perspective. So that was good. You did give me an I. You informed me how you feel about it, that you don't love it. And so I'm doing a Y. Yes, fine. I think I'll work on it.
Right. And I'm noticing what we didn't do, which is great because this happens a lot. We didn't make assumptions. So I didn't jump to the assumption, she must be bored, she must not be having a great time. And you didn't jump to the assumption, well, it's okay to do this all the time and this is fine and I'll just keep doing this. We went back and forth in conversation. We didn't assume anything. We just went into this asking questions, being open, trying to figure out what's going on. And in our minds, we didn't end the date immediately. Even if you were bored, and maybe that is why you picked up the phone, you didn't just cut everything off. You still gave an opportunity to have this conversation to see what's going on. And I find a lot of the times in dating, couples have a hard time with communication. And instead of communicating and saying something, we don't realize how quickly we jump 10 steps down and we're like, assume. And like, now we just have a whole series of thinking based on assumptions. She must not be having a good time. That's why she picked up the phone. Well, she did get off the phone quickly, but it doesn't mean she's having a good time with me. And, maybe I should take her home. And then all of a sudden in your mind, the date's over, right? Instead, we just had a conversation about it and now we're getting chocolate cake. So we could still, get a little bit of time to figure things out. And even if we're not going to go out again, because maybe I'm still going to walk away thinking that's so rude, but you kind of did tshuva and you kind of said, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that. Well, okay, now I'm going to monitor and watch. If you pick up the phone on any other date, I'm probably going to drop you because it's rude and we already talked it. Now I could say we talked about it, right? So if this was a second date and I'm like, wow, last date you did the same thing and now you're doing it again, I would be in my head, we're done. We're done. We already talked about it. We're on the same page. We know what's what, and you're still not respecting it, and that doesn't work for me. But on a first date, I think we still have to be open-minded and not jump to any conclusions or assumptions. And maybe you have poor etiquette because you picked up your phone. By the way, don't pick up your phone on a date. And if there's an emergency going on, you are not anybody's emergency backup person on a date. You are available to nobody in the world except the human being that you are in front of. Somebody else has to be the emergency call while you're on your date.
Excellent points, Aleeza. I like how you took the whole thing apart. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. All right. So next one. One of the parties, okay, the guy is completely quiet, and it feels uncomfortable. Like, you're trying to make conversation with the guy and he's just very quiet. And you're wondering, maybe he's the nervous introvert type. Maybe he has a headache. You have no idea. But the conversation is just not going anywhere. Okay. So I'm going to try to find out about it. So Moshe, where did you grow up?
In the New York area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what kind of, which area?
In like Brooklyn area, like Avenue J.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And what kind of work do you do?
Computer IT guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm having this thought. Whenever I ask you a question, it's like a one word, like, 2-3 words, and that's it. Short sentences. And I feel like I'm pulling teeth. And I'm wondering, are you not interested, or is that your style? I'm not sure why you're doing that. So Moshe, I'm just wondering, I'm noticing that when I ask you the questions, like, you just give me like these short answers. And I'm trying to understand why I'm like, give me such short answers.
So I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a little more on the shy or introverted, reserved side. So this is like a little hard for me. And I, I'm kind of answering the questions that you asked, but I know I'm not maybe I'm not giving enough information, and I should kind of be a little more forthcoming with some things.
Yeah. Would you mind doing that? Trying that? Like right now, even this explanation was like perfect. You didn't just say, oh, I'm the introverted type, and that's it. You explained yourself a little more. Would you be able to do that?
Yeah. Let's try.
Okay. You can ask me any questions also, and I'll show you how I would do it. Because if I answer one-word answers,
okay,
my conversation is going to go nowhere.
Okay. So maybe tell me a little bit about what you do.
So I'm actually a party planner. And I work in the 5 towns area. So I throw these different bashes. I work with a bunch of different companies that, lighting, photography, like all these different companies. We pull it all together. I have my flower people, my, cake people, salads, and all that. And so we pull it all together.
Amazing.
A lot of coordination to do.
Yeah.
So did you see what I did? Like I didn't answer
yeah.
one little thing. I explained it a little more.
Yeah. So I guess I could tell you that I'm kind of the party planner of the IT guys. So I manage a team, and I have a whole bunch of people that do all the different jobs that we need done on a project. I'm kind of the project coordinator, and I pull everything together so that all the individual parts, which are really fragmented, unify, and then the whole project comes together and we can kind of accomplish our task at hand.
Got it. That makes very interesting. And thank you so much for sharing all these details, because now it gives me an idea what exactly you're doing in your IT position.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So here, what did we do here? I did an O open. Like, I was just curious, like, why, you're doing these very short answers. And I told you how I feel, that like I was not sure, like I'm like, I don't know if I don't think I said it then, but like, I'm a little confused about like, is it that, you don't want to share, or why it happens. And I wanted you to share more. So
and again, you're not assuming, like some people again would assume, oh, they must not be interested. They must not, like they would assume something negative that has to do personally with them. So instead of assuming something negative personally, oh, I'm boring them, or they don't want to be here, or something like that, you have to assume, I just don't have enough information. That's the only thing you can assume. I have to figure out what information I need, and I'm not making a negative assumption that they don't want to be here or that this doesn't work for them. If they're here on a date with me, for the moment, we assume that they want to be here with me until we decide later on whether we're going to continue or not. And so we're just trying to figure out, well, what's going on, and how can we open up this conversation so that it doesn't fall flat. And in general, I tell people, actually, we're gonna do a webinar on this maybe this week, about not answering the question that people ask, right? So if you ask me, what do I do? And I tell you, oh, I'm an IT guy. Great. You just answered the question, but don't answer the question. Answer the question that they didn't ask. What do you do? Why do you like it? Tell me a little bit more. All of those things, when somebody says, hey, what do you do? Give them a more full-bodied response so that the conversation can flow. I mean, don't give them a half an hour lecture. They don't want to know that long, but like 3 sentences or 2 minutes, really give them an insight so they can go, wow, oh, I get you. That makes so much more sense. Like, oh, that's cool. Or they could follow up with a question.
Excellent. Actually, you made me think about a method, a technique that I use to teach kids conversation skills, or teach kids, teenagers, young adults, conversation skills, to help people expand their story or to help them expand their answer. We teach people to think of the WH questions. So the who, what, where, when, why, and then there's a how, and there's a which. So in our minds, we learn to think these questions and answer them. So when we're telling
even when somebody's not necessarily asking all the right questions, you're asking yourself those questions and helping to promote the conversation.
Right. So I'm filling in. So in other words, let's say if I asked you if you asked me, what do you do? Right. So I'm thinking where, okay, what do I do is what, W, like, I'm a party planner. Where do I work? I'm gonna tell you right away, I'm a party planner in the 5 towns. And I love doing this. Actually, it's a family tradition. Everyone in my family does it. I love doing it. Why? So I think these thoughts in my head. Oh, not thoughts. I'm thinking of the WH questions in my head while I'm answering to expand my answer. Just a little technique.
I love it. I love it. And I always tell people you need to tell a story. So if somebody asks you a question, they're not looking for an answer. They're looking for a story. So how do you craft a story? And some people, anybody who's very literal, they're like, well, they only asked me what I did. They didn't ask me if I like it. They didn't ask me where. They didn't ask me those things. So I'm not going to answer them. I only told them what they wanted to know. But what they want to know is you. So the way to get to know you is if you expand what somebody asks you, because they're not going to throw in there like, well, what do you do? And how do you like it? And where do you, It's just too much back and forth and back and forth. So you do have to fill in those gaps. And I love it going through the who, what, where, when, why, how, which categories so that you can at least give a more full-bodied answer. It's a good technique. I'm going to use it.
Okay. With pleasure. Okay. So next one. You like to date the guy. So the girl likes to date the guy, but they don't ask you any questions about yourself and you want to connect better. So what's happening is that when I ask you questions, you answer, but then you don't ask me back. So you're talking a lot, Moshe, and you never ask me any questions. Okay. So, So Moshe, you were telling me before about, we're talking about Israel. Were you planning to go to Israel in the near future?
Yeah, actually trying to go in a month from now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, but hold on a second. So usually you talk a lot. You talk a lot.
Sorry.
But you never ask
keep
me
going
any
with
questions.
My story.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would keep going on and on and on about Israel and what I'm doing and where I'm going and who I'm seeing and all of those things.
Yeah. All right. So when I'm having this thought right now, okay, you know what? The entire night I've been asking questions from Moshe. I know a lot about you, Moshe, but I don't think he knows me yet. So Moshe, I was just like wondering, I love learning about like your IT work and your trip to Israel, and like it's really exciting. I also noticed like you didn't ask me too many questions, and I'm just wondering, do you want me to just like tell you about myself? It's more comfortable when you ask me, like then tells me like what you want to hear about me. I don't know if you know.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I would love to know a little bit more about what you love to do in your free time and, who you spend it with.
Okay. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. I'll definitely go ahead and, tell you that. All right. So what happened here was I instead of just saying, oh my gosh, this guy is just so self-centered, he only talks about himself, I could have evaded. that
Right. No,
question.
also no assumption. Again, you're not making an assumption that I'm all these negative things, right? Don't let your assumption take you on a whole negative path. Instead, you just said the truth, right? Like, I noticed that you're not asking me anything. Is there anything that you want to know about me? Like, and I'm more comfortable if you ask me questions. So you informed me about that. And then you were open. And you made a space for me to come in to be able to ask something and to be comfortable.
Yes. Thank you for noticing that. Yeah. All right. We're going to do, let's say, a couple more, but I want to invite the participants to make their comments or ask questions. If they feel uncomfortable with some of this conversation, like text us, like, chat with us. We'd like to make it so that you guys feel like it's applicable to you. So feel free to type anything into the chat box or the Q&A. And while you're doing that, let's continue with another couple of examples, and then we're going to wrap up, okay?
Perfect.
Okay. So you're asked, let me see for a second. Yeah. Okay, you're asked out again. The girl's asked out again, but she's not sure if she's interested or not. And you're, okay, I'm caught off guard. Moshe, you asked me out again, and I'm totally caught off guard.
Would you like to go out again, maybe next Tuesday?
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you so much for inviting me out again. I really had a lovely time tonight. Usually I go through this matchmaker. Like I need some time to process it, and I speak to the matchmaker. Would it be okay if we if we did that?
Absolutely.
It doesn't actually mean that I'm not interested. I like you a lot. I'm enjoying this. But I like to process things. It's just my style, my personality.
Yeah.
I'm like not this impulsive kind of person.
No problem.
Okay. All right. How do you feel about that answer?
I think it's good, and I get to know you, and like you're saying, like, oh, I'm not this impulsive, like just make a snap decision. It tells me a little bit, it informs me also that you're somebody who takes time, you think about things, you process them, and it gives me more of an understanding of you.
Okay. All right. And so, and in this case, what I did was I informed you, right? I informed you. The truth of the matter is I didn't do an O. But you did a U unite, like you said, sure, like no problem, let's do it, let's work it out in a way.
Well, and I don't think that every scenario has all of the, right, everything, all of the AIOU.
Right, okay. But we've gotten feedback that people find these scenarios very applicable. Yes, thank you. Thank you to the people who sent in their questions. It's based on your dilemmas. So thank you. All right, this one is a fun one. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Okay, here we have different, perhaps opposing political views. Moshe, you are in a different political team, and I'm worried that this is going to affect our relationship. How do we deal with this?
Yeah. So,
what do you think about? Sorry.
Go ahead.
What do you think about this whole impeachment process again? They're impeaching Trump a second time? Like, I don't get it.
I just think it's nonsense. It's just ridiculous. I think people should just back off of him and just leave him alone. He did a great job. He was really good for the Jews.
What are you talking about? Look at he incited, the whole, chaos and all that behavior on the Capitol. Like, forget it. No. You can't do that.
Yeah, his personality doesn't bother me. It matters to me like what he does and how he takes care of us. That's really important to me. But it sounds like we're not really on the same page, are we?
Yeah, and
we probably didn't vote for the same people, did we?
Probably not. But are you what's your take on politics? Like, are you passionate about it? Like, what's your?
I personally have my beliefs, and I'm sure they inform some of the decisions in my life. I don't know exactly where, but I'm not like a political guru. Like I'm not, standing out there picketing or doing anything like that. But I do feel strongly that my beliefs are valid, and that, I think it has an impact on our lives to a degree.
Yeah, I get very passionate. I get actually mad at people who don't see my viewpoint. I get like really frustrated. Like, I don't get it. Like, don't you see what Trump did? Like, he destroyed our country, totally destroyed our country. I mean, anyway.
Really, it takes over. So, okay, so I don't know how that would work with two people who vote for the opposite parties. I don't know how that would work long term.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more, neutral, and maybe it's more like, if we don't talk about it, then it won't be a problem. But it doesn't sound like that's the same for you. It sounds like you're really passionate and you need somebody who's really politically on the same page as you.
I think so. Yeah, because I constantly have fights and arguments with my friends. I mean, like, then they don't want to talk to me for a few days. But yeah, that's what happened.
So maybe I should go out with some of your friends and you can go out with some of my friends and we'll make a different match.
I think
it
so.
doesn't sound like we're going to be a good match.
I think so. I think you might be right. Okay. But what we did here was I was open. We were both open about, how we react to the politics, what we believe in. And, I informed you how I am in these situations, so you could make a better, more informed decision about whether or not we're appropriate for each other.
Awesome.
Right?
Yes. And okay. We're not right for each other based on that.
Right. But we're doing a unite. We can sort of date each other's friends.
Right. And we can agree to disagree and say this isn't going to work, but we've got a plan B, and we're here for some reason, so we may as well figure out how to help each other.
Right. So even though we had disagreed quite a bit here, it was still a respectful conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But it's definitely our last date.
Yes, it is. So on that note, we should quickly share about partners in Shidduchim, what they try to accomplish, what their goal is. So Partners in Shidduchim, it was created to fill a need. Many times people say, I don't get any dates, nobody calls me, nobody reaches out to me. So Partners in Shidduchim decided to post people's profiles, Shidduchim profiles, online so that everyone, family, friends, and singles themselves can check out different profiles and see what might be a potential match. There are different ways to connect with a match. You don't have to, have people calling you directly. You can have family or a shadchan be your middle person. And it's free, which is wonderful. And, but everyone, the only way it's going to work is if everyone posts their profiles online. There is a match for everyone, Shatova, and we just need one. But again, we need to put ourselves out there and get the word out so that other people can find us and we can find other people as well. So I want to encourage everyone to sign up.
And I've had actually several clients tell me, they're like, you keep talking about Partners in Shidduchim. And so I finally put my profile on and I started searching and I met somebody and we're going out. And so there's been a few matches in process, even with distance and everything going on with COVID, that they met through Partners in Shidduchim, and they're dating right now. So there's been a lot of positive progress and good things.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. We have a couple of comments from people. So one person commented, it is okay to disagree and still love each other and still work together. So that's definitely the case. Like, in other words, if, my passion for politics doesn't make me be attacking towards you, do the A, and I can be civil and gentle and pleasant, then we can, again, we can disagree.
Right. We could also agree to disagree, and this could have gone very differently if you weren't too crazy passionate about your politics, right? But if you're crazy passionate, it's just not going to work. True.
Right. Okay. And and the other question was that one person wrote that sometimes they have a vibe. The date has unresolved anger, so they're picking up on that. Right. What if you sense a person having anger, like whatever they're talking about was like very has a lot of strong put downs and like mocking people, and it's just you sense a lot of anger.
So I would approach it. I think as soon as I use the word anger, it's going to trigger you if you're the angry person. But I would say something like, wow, it seems like you have a lot of energy and passion around this topic. And, this is something that's really important to you, right? Like, so I'm noticing that that's so important to you. I'm using the word energy and passion, which sometimes lead to a more positive thinking, even though you're meaning it as something negative, in order to be able to explore this without assuming that you have negativity and anger issues.
Love that.
So, but if I say that to you and you're like, yeah, and I am really passionate about this because this bothers me when stupid people do things like this. It's so ridiculous. And you're like, haha, you really are angry and you really have all this yucky stuff that's behind it. But because I was open, because I was trying to show you that I really understand you, and I was trying to unite us, you felt that there was a safe place to be who you are, and then your true colors, shone through. But you could have just as easily not been angry. You could have been like, I get a little hyper passionate about it, whatever, but like, it's not my main thing. It's just like a thing. It just was like a little mini trigger, right? I could have just as easily been chill about it and not been angry about it. So I think you really learn more from people by being open, by informing them, and by uniting. I think when you use those tools, you get people to open up, and then you can learn about who they really are and decide if you're really comfortable with them or not.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. I love the passion. Like that choice of words is just perfect. Excellent. Thank you. All right. So we're going to end. Okay. Someone made a comment again about having an experience with a Shatrin on the website. Please email support@partnersinshidduchim.com with any questions about the website or anything on the website. And Bela Yaniv would be more than happy to try to be helpful here. So thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you for joining us for part 2. If you didn't see part 1, we also have that available for you, and you can email support@partnersinshidduchim.com, and you can get a copy of that so you can see it. And for all of your scenarios and whatever comes up for you, we hope that you have the right tools, that you have the right words at the right time, and that this makes a really big difference going forward, and that not only it makes a difference for you, but it helps you to make a difference for the date as well, because the energy that you put out is something that you often get back.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us today and for participating again and for your questions. So looking forward to seeing you in the future, perhaps.
Awesome. Okay. Have a good night.
Good night.